Hello and welcome to this week's Pura Vida Lives. And my name is Rachel Wade, and I'm the founder and creator of Pura Vida Your Life. I'm a personal development coach, and I help people who are feeling stuck, lost, and empty and unfulfilled. And I empower people to rediscover their uniqueness and achieve happiness and fulfillment in their greatest life yet, in all areas of their life. So this video is about how do you live your best life? So I'm going to talk a bit more about that in detail and share with you 3 golden nuggets to improve your life straight away. And the first one is write goals that align with your values. The second one is think big. And the third one is plan for success. So, how do you live your best life? I'm sure you like the sound of living your best life, but maybe you just don't know how. So, a great start is to set your goals, and goals ensure that you get the absolute best out of your life. So, I ask you the question, do you set goals for yourself? So, what are your goals for the next year? How about the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? What are your aspirations in all areas of your life? Just think about that for a moment. This might be the first time you've actually thought about that. But you see, goal setting is the first step of successful goal achievement. So it marks your first point towards success. And it's when you switch from living a passive state, so just going along with things, to being really involved in your life, really in the driving seat of your life. So something we seem to forget is that we can't control time. And we seem to make excuses of it's not the right time, or I don't have time for that. But you see, the thing is, time will pass faster than you think. And if sometimes we think, well, if only I'd started that thing 6 months ago, I wonder where I'd be now. So just think in 1 year's time, you'll be 1 year older. In 5 years, you'll be 5 years older. So imagine if you set your sights now, right now, on the life that you want to create, what wonder and amazement you could really experience. You see, goals with specific measures and deadlines ensure that you're maximizing your experience on earth, this life that you have, this only one life. So if you've already discovered your life purpose, then your goals will get the best out of your purpose. Maybe that's something else that you need to spend a little bit more time on, is trying to understand what your purpose in life is. So I'm sure if you've heard of the old saying, the world is your oyster. Well, it really is. There are millions and billions of things that you can do, experiences that you can have, and people that you can encounter. There are endless possibilities of what you can accomplish. What if you could do whatever you want? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to see, do, or experience in your life? Set your goals and make it happen, and watch you create the best life yet. This is something that highly accomplished and athletes and business people put their success down to. And I must admit, it's something that I've put into practice to have accomplished a very good corporate career and now as a business owner, and also in my personal achievements. So I set goals for all areas of my life. So I put a lot of what I've accomplished down to those goals that I've set, and how I've committed to those goals, and how I've consistently acted on them. So there's a quote that I've come across, and it says, you need a plan to build a house. To build a life, it's even more important to have a plan for your goal. So you can see how goals and planning are key for you to achieve anything. Otherwise, you'll just be drifting on, and it might be by chance that you achieve your aspirations and goals. So live your best life and be the best that you can be. See, goals ensure that you get the best out of life, and goals help you achieve your highest potential. We all have so much more that we can achieve in life. I think we sometimes hide that a bit under a cloud or a bushel, but we don't realize that there's so much more potential within us. And without goals, we can default to the routine of activities that keep us feeling safe and comfortable each day. But this familiarity is the nemesis of growth. You see, it prevents you from growing. It denies you from tapping into your infinite potential. So stop getting comfortable, start striving for the big dreams. So by setting goals, you set targets to strive forward. And these targets, you venture into new places, you'll venture into new situations, and you'll put yourself into growth mode. And they make you stretch beyond your normal self and reach new heights. How rewarding would that be? So, for example, setting a time limit lets you run on your run, lets you know that you should be running faster. Or setting a weight loss target helps you know if your actions have been effective in losing weight. Or if you set a career goal, it ensures that you're not settling for anything less than what you desire. So, why do we think that goals are important? Well, one reason is it allows us to take control of our life. So, I'm sure you've noticed many people today are sleepwalking through life. Even though they work hard, they don't feel like they're getting what they want. And that's because they don't have direction of where they want to go, what they want to achieve. We all know the rule book that we all seem to go through. We go to school and then students graduate, but they're not sure on what to do with their life. And adults work for years and are shocked when they reach their 30s and 40s and they don't know what to do next. So when you stop to set goals and think about what you want to do, you break out of autopilot and you start living a life of conscious creation. And that's where the real magic is. And that's where you have a life of beauty and real joy and fulfillment. Conscious creation. So instead of letting others tell you what to do, you proactively take charge and think about what you want for yourself. I think so many of us have done that in the past, taken advice, maybe from family, parents. You must do this. This is the route that you must follow. But it's important that we do and live a life that's going to resonate with us and fulfill our purpose. So the second reason is maximize your results. So as I mentioned earlier, top performance and world-class athletes and successful people all set goals. So Michael Phelps, who's a competitive swimmer and actually the most declared Olympian of all time, Richard Branson, the businessman, Elon Musk, who's the CEO of Tesla, they all set goals. They're not where they are today because they just meandered through life. They were specific about what they wanted to achieve and how they were going to do that. You see, that's because when you set goals, you have a vision to work towards and you ensure that you're pushing yourself to get the best results rather than resting on your laurels and just waiting for things to happen. So we all know that things are created twice, first in the mind and then in the physical world. So the mental creation happens when you set your goals, and then the physical creation happens when you work on your goal and bring it to life. But without the mental creation, the physical creation just can't happen. And when you set goals, you kick off the very first step to make your dreams happen, your dreams come true. And after which, the next steps will just follow through. And the third reason why it's important to set goals is it helps us to be laser focused. So goals give you focus. So while life's purpose gives you a general direction, your goals give you laser focus as to what exactly to spend your time and energy on. And that's really important. Where you're spending your time and energy is where you're going to get the results. So it's important that you have some goals that you're going to work to. So here's an example. Let's say you set a goal to create a bakery business. So even though you have no idea how to make that happen, the very act of setting a goal gives you a focal point. Realize that you can start studying the local bakery business and bakery brands. What do you need to do that either aligns with that or even do it better? So understanding the cakes that people like. Then take cake baking classes to master your skills. And at the same time, test recipes and let your friends taste your creations before selling them. So that's how we would go about setting up a goal and what we would do, the plan to enforce the goal. So think of your energy as the input and the results as the output. So when you have a goal, you create a focal point of where your energy can be channeled to create maximum reward. And that's really important. As I mentioned earlier, it's really important where you're putting your energy. So I love this saying, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. So when you set goals, you are aiming for the moon. Your goals propel you to take more action than you would have otherwise. So how do you write goals? I'm sure that's what you're asking next. So start by asking yourself, what are my goals for the upcoming year, the next 3 years, the next 5 years, or even the next 10 years? As mentioned earlier, time goes so quickly. So you'd be surprised in doing this exercise, you will really align yourself to get to your dreams, whether that's you want to retire at a certain age, you want to buy this big house, you want to move away, whatever that might be. So you can, of course, follow the time-honored SMART formula. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. They're SMART goals. And diving into the 5 W questions: the what, the why, the who, the where, the which. But I much prefer my approach, the approach that I take of using a well-formed outcome in goal setting, because these get greater results for myself and for my clients, my coaching clients. So, however, for the purposes of sharing this insight, here are my golden nuggets and top tips to help you get started on writing your goals to achieve a happier and fulfilled life. So, number 1 of my golden nuggets: write goals that align with your values. This is really important, because otherwise there's little motivation for success if your goals don't connect to your values. And of course, to make this work, you need to know exactly what your values are. So I recommend looking at areas as your life, as I detail in the Pura Vida Your Life Compass, the navigation tool for the modern world. And some examples in there are looking at creative as a value. So are you spending enough time having fun and being artistic? Another element could be, and another value could be physical. And this would be, well, what am I trying to achieve in a physical sense? And that could be, well, abundance. You know, is it the next new car? Is it the career? Is it the new house? And what about spiritual? Is that a value that resonates with you? So are you open-minded to see the world in different ways and different approaches to life? Social. So if that's a value that's important to you, what are you doing to nurture those relationships? And worldly nourishment is a value that's important to me. And this is around helping others and being a beneficial presence in the world. So consider how you're living out your values in each of those areas. Gaining this perspective will give you some idea about what you might like to change or improve. So my top tip here is to do this, consider, how do you spend your time and energy right now? What are you passionate about? You know, really what gets you fired up? What do you need to do more of? And what do you need to do less of? And maybe what's missing? What is it that you need to actually start doing that you haven't thought of before? But just take time to process your thoughts and feelings and consider these things. And I would say list out maybe 5 things that you'd like to change or do differently and write them down as possible goals. That's a good place to start, if any. So number 2 of my golden nugget is think big. So I dare you to think bigger, to act bigger, and be bigger than you ever thought possible. The one major factor that separates most successful people from the rest begins with a single thought. This single thought, if cultivated, grows over time into an empowering habit of thinking big, and that eventually takes over a person's psychology and propels them forward to the achievement of their goals and objectives. So think from the perspective of having no limitations and no fears. Everything is possible, infinite possibilities. And my top tip here to help that is a vision board. They're a great tool to turn your goals into a visual reminder and to keep you motivated. And it can be a great fun way to illustrate your aspirations. I know people that maybe they're in a couple and they do this together to plan out, or I also know of families that do this to say how we're going to have more family time throughout the year. And my third golden nugget is plan for success. Write a plan. This is vital in making the goal into a reality. You see, without a plan, your goal has little chance of success. Write an overall summary of the goal, including details such as when you're going to do this, any costs involved, where you need to be, and make it authentic, make it real. But more importantly, decide where to begin. That's often the hardest point. Where do I start? And then make a detailed step-by-step plan of the major tasks that need to be achieved for the goal. So I find that this helps me. If in doubt, work backwards in stages from the final result. So I know this really works for me. And make deadlines if you like, but keep them realistic to avoid disappointment. And my top tip here is stick to it, but stay flexible. This can be a challenge, especially in our lives, and unexpected events can distract you, and that can sometimes lead to procrastination. So to help you maintain your motivation, one way you could do that is to report back to others. Have a buddy or someone that you can invite in to say, I want to regularly check in with you on my plan, and they'll be happy to listen to you and support you on that. And then make sure you adjust the plan as you go along so that you can be flexible. It's important that we be flexible because life never goes in one direction. So that's it for this week. Those are my 3 golden nuggets and my top tips to help you start living a fulfilled life. So if you found this useful, please share this with anyone you know who would also benefit and help them along in their journey in life. And thank you for joining me. It's been a real honour to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you again next week for Pura Vida Your Life happenings, for insight, inspiration, and more golden nuggets to help you live a happier and fulfilled life. So remember, Pura Vida, it all starts with you. And finally, I invite you to come on a journey of an empowerment with me. So sign up to Pura Vida Your Life Discoveries to help you take the steps to improve your life at puravidayourlife.com. So, Pura Vida.